Speaking of it, you guys been watching this drama play out with Infantino? It's
Can't
been
avoid
wild.
it.
Like, I'm a big Bravo guy, reality TV. This beats it all. This is pure drama. Move over, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Mexican journalist Martin Del Palacio reporting this, that negotiations have been underway for some time to allow Mexico to compete in South America tournaments. The Copa America with the senior national team, the Copa Libertadores, and Copa Sudamericana with its clubs. This includes changing confederations if necessary. What's being suggested here behind the scenes, and nothing is being confirmed, and these are reports, and Del Palacio is a legitimate journalist, that almost that Gianni Infantino is offering a quid pro quo to the Mexican Federation in order for them to continue to support the embattled president of FIFA. This has wide-spanning potential consequences if they actually follow through and this does take place. But does it seem feasible to you that Mexico can actually leave Concacaf, Jimmy? Or is this just another example of Infantino's just apparent belief that he can do and promise anything that he wants and really get his own way?
No, I think it's absolute nonsense. I mean, for them to say, oh yeah, Mexico, you can go down and play in South America, but I mean, there's no chance Concacaf is going to allow that at all. The Americans, the Canadians, the rest of CONCACAF, there's no way that they're going to say, yeah, Mexico, that's fine, you can go down there. It just doesn't make sense. And if that's the case, then why doesn't Canada turn around and go, well, we're quite close to Europe, so why can't we go to UEFA? And then it opens up a can of worms. I mean, I think it's the most ridiculous thing that I've heard in a very, very long time. And it's a promise that I can't see happening.
What do you make of this reporting, Jordan?
Yeah, I don't love it. I agree with Jimmy. Like, where do the rules and the guidelines come? Like, where do you draw them? You know what I mean? If Mexico does it, why couldn't the U.S. do it? That, if you look at it geographically as well, similar distance or close to South America, it's just this whole saga that you're talking about. Yeah, it would be interesting, but the thing that I don't love about it the most is just like how lawless everything is. It's like, oh, okay, if you want this, I'll make this backdoor deal with you to make some things happen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't really love that, and this is not the direction that football needs to go.
Well, a lot of the process, you know the expression, you don't want to see how the sausage is made. Well, a lot of things are coming to light, the way that things work from a political perspective, not just within FIFA, but sporting organizations across the board here. I don't like, obviously, how any of this is playing out, but the Mexican Federation did make a stand. They veered from the CONCACAF messaging in terms of they're willing to continue to support Infantino. So that's when a report like this comes out. It piques the interest because this isn't coming out of nowhere. Like, it's not as if Mexico doesn't benefit by being in CONCACAF. And I know from a footballing perspective, the idea is sexy, right? Because they'll be able to go in and play Argentina and Brazil and Uruguay and some of the giants of world football on a regular basis. I get it. But Mexico has a big role to play in CONCACAF. They get preferential treatment in terms of CONCACAF competitions. They get access to the American Hispanic market, which is huge. They have a relationship with MLS, with Leagues Cup. Like, there's a lot of boxes it ticks for them off the field, and it's rather lucrative for them to stay in CONCACAF. So what are we talking about here? Is this a power play? Is it a political play? Is it being led by Mexico, or is it being led by Infantino right now? And if I were anyone that was speculating about this matter, I go right to the top. This just has Infantino's fingerprints all over it. It provides further reasoning why he needs to go. This is the reason why he needs to go, because of the lack of credibility within the processes.
Well, he cemented that. That's his fate. This whole nonsense that's been going on post-World Cup, just the past couple of weeks, cemented
During the World Cup.
During the World Cup, before the World Cup. Non-stop with this
I'm focusing on the post, but yeah, he cemented his own fate. When you start to do this, these backdoor deals, the secrecy, when I knew people in his own camp didn't even know what he was up to, that means you're on an island all by yourself doing foolishness, and it's lawless. And
But he's not on an island he's on an island by himself in terms of the administration at the highest levels of FIFA. But when Mexico, Argentina, the African nations, other South American nations all stand by his side.
Yeah, but the majority are against him.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
Europe, CONCACAF, but not Mexico, and Mexico is one of the...
That's one out of 40-odd.
41, but they're also a nation with a considerable voice and power. You said it, like, let's say Curacao left CONCACAF. life would go on, 40 nations within the Confederation. Mexico gets up to leave, like that is potentially disastrous.
Could you see
Like,
a world?
absolutely
Can you see a
disastrous.
world if Concacaf and CONMEBOL came together?
Could you?
I could see it.
You could
at
see
one
that.
point, yeah.
So
Because then you're
51 nations.
You're with about 51 nations. You're very similar to Europe, and it's a different ballgame there. And I could see the Canadian fans, American fans, actually like watching qualifying against an Argentina, against a Brazil. You're going to open up more numbers now as well because we want to go to a 64 World Cup, which means more teams will be coming through. But I just think overall, I think maybe that could be an option as well. If Mexico wants to go and this starts becoming a debate, then maybe the two come together. So South America and North America.
It's an interesting idea. So rather than have one rogue nation get up and leave because of some quid pro quo, that these two confederations come closer together and potentially end up aligning. Would that suit in the better interest for all parties involved?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, definitely would make for more interesting matches as well. I want to get on the same page rather quickly with all the federations and all the madness that's going on.
I mean, I think that look, Copa America competitions have been staged in the United States in recent vintage because it makes them more money than hosting it within their own home nations. The American market is something that they're all chasing. Is Canada part of that equation? Yeah, it's one of the bigger nations in CONCACAF. But there's value in CONCACAF. That's what I'm trying to suggest. And just in terms of where this goes, I'm not looking for anything from the Canadian Soccer Association. I think the voice of where things stand and where things are going will come through a Canadian and Victor Montagliani. I feel like he has a central role to play in all of this and how it may play out. Not only a vice president of FIFA, but also the president of CONCACAF. And I think that he, through the statements that have been released by CONCACAF, has put his stake in the ground. I think that we all know where Montagliani stands here, and he's veered away from Infantino. What's interesting is that Mexico seems to be standing up to him. That is interesting to me. I don't know what exactly that means. Perhaps it's Mexico just trying to get more leverage in this region as well. Maybe wrestle some more power away, potentially. Could do. But Montaglia has a big role to play in all this.
Victor does, of course he does. He's got a massive role to play in all this. And the thing is, Victor's done an awful lot for CONCACAF. And he deserves an awful lot of credit for where CONCACAF is today. And I can't see him allowing someone to come in and say, yeah, Mexico, you can leave. I don't think it would happen on his terms. No chance.
Just the seasonal stuff, like two different hemispheres, summer, winter, flip, like it'd be very difficult to align, especially in club competitions. I understand that MLS has flipped to a winter calendar. We'll see how that works out. But I think CONCACAF is moving in the right direction, just in terms of their domestic competitions, the realignment of the Nations League, the growing of prominence of tournaments like the Gold Cup, and the nation's really improving around this federation. So I'd hate to see it. Coming closer with CONMEBOL makes a lot of sense, but staying apart, big picture, I think it'd be better for all parties involved. More on this topic as, the story isn't going anywhere, guys.
No. Not anytime soon.
It's done.
TELUS Canadian Championship, upcoming semifinal stage, two legs. Super du Quebec, I should say, taking on Forge, and Vancouver Whitecaps taking on CF Montreal. Both legs, all those matches can be watched right here on One Soccer.